Good morning. Cheers. Come in. Everybody come in. Listen. Hello, Grant. Hello, Paul. Hello, Bill. Good to see you. Today we're going to talk about free education. We already have free education, and I'm going to talk about that. But I'm also going to talk about the problems with that free education from my personal experience. So I am John Beckman, Dr. John Beckman, Professor John Beckman, U.S. Senate GOP primary candidate in the state of Alabama. Vote for me, March 3rd. Okay, so free education. Now that we got that out of the way. Wait. We need our coffee. Get coffee in a mug. Get something good that smells good. Let's do a citation to the simultaneous libation of Scott Adams. Cheers. That is a very, very, very important part of these discussions, because if you're doing that, that means you're joining the team. You're getting on the team. Okay? So it's very, very important that you participate in the simultaneous citation to the simultaneous libation. Okay, let's talk about free education. So first of all, one of the things that I completely disagree with is I do not think that college degrees are for everybody. Okay? The people that college degrees are made for are for people who have a programmed inner program that has a deep love of learning. Okay, these are people that like deep debate. These are people that like having tough conversations. These are people that like challenging themselves. Not everybody is up to that, or maybe not everybody is ready for that. So the first thing that I disagree with is that a college degree is not for everybody. Some people are just not into that. Some people are not ready for that, not mature enough for that. And they go in because many people have advised them to go in, but they're really not ready for it and they're not mature enough for it. So that's the first thing that I disagree with. The second thing is that all the liberal presidential candidates are all proposing free education. Okay, so Bernie wants free education. And I'm fine with that. Like, I'm cool with that. I also want people to get free educations too. The only thing I disagree with is that we already have that. Like, you already have free access to unlimited education on the internet, okay? So for instance, me, as a professor, I upload all my lectures, I record them, I upload all my lectures onto YouTube. And I do this for two reasons. The first reason is because that it actually makes it easier for my own students who are actually in the classes. It makes it easier for them to learn. So like if they miss a lecture, I can just send them an email and be like, here, it's online, just watch it. You can watch it at night. Or it allows them to watch it twice. If they miss some stuff, they can watch it again. So I already put all my lectures online, okay? The second reason I do that is because I don't like the idea of only teaching for like 10 people in a room. Like, if I put all this work into building this course, into building these lectures, I want that material to be available to everybody. Like, I don't ever want to have to teach the class again. I just want to put it online, and anybody who wants to learn from it can learn from it. Like, if they don't like it, they don't like it, and if they want to see it, they can see it. So I put all my stuff online. And I'm just one example of this. And maybe I'm not even the best. Like, you can go on YouTube and you can watch very, very, very professional lectures from MIT, Massachusetts Institute of Technology, from Harvard, from Columbia University. You can take full online courses. You can get a whole degree, like, just watching stuff online. So it's not a problem of the cost. The cost is not a problem. Education is already free as long as you have the internet. Okay? So, and I love this because people always talk about, which I agree with, that there are these cycles of poverty, okay? Where you have parents and they don't emphasize education in their children, and then their children grow up not emphasizing education, and then you get these repeated cycles and people can never escape, and they talk about this, okay? And I agree with that. Like, that happens. That happens in some of the poorest places of our country. But we have a means to escape that. All those people need is access to the internet. And as soon as you have access to the internet, like, there's not an excuse anymore, because you have access to unlimited education. So this is why Ben Franklin, who's my favorite founding father and inventor, Also not a slave owner, never a slave owner. Ben Franklin was not a slave owner. So there's no reason to hate on Ben Franklin, okay? Ben Franklin was one of the original founders who started the first public libraries in the United States, okay? And the reason that Ben Franklin started public libraries is because that very reason. He believed that as long as you had the motivation to go to the library, that could be a means of you escaping horrible situations that you're in, okay? If you go to the library, you can raise yourself up to the next level. And the internet now we are even beyond that. Okay, so we are beyond Ben Franklin's time by far. Everybody has their own library in their pocket, in their cell phone that has access to the internet, okay? So everybody has access to free education. So that is a false argument to go around saying like we need free education. We already have free education. Now let's talk about the problems with that. So I'm back in school now, actually. I actually go back because I like to sort of get in the, I like to have an understanding of what it's like to be a student. And I love learning. So each semester I take a class. So I'm always perpetually back in school. Okay? And I can tell you from my experience, this is just talking about myself. So I'm not going to apply this to all people, but I'm going to talk about the problems that I see from my perspective. One of the problems is of the free education system is the motivation. Okay, so it's not that we don't have access to free education; we do. The problem is the people who need this are not motivated to watch the stuff, to do the work, okay? So we have a problem of motivation, and you can see this in the data. So 50% of essentially all students that register for college, about 50% of those people drop out before they even finish. So there's a motivation problem. That's just evidence for that, okay? And the problem is many people don't have the inner strength to face the unknown. That's what education is. Every day, you're perpetually going into a situation where this is something you've never encountered before. You're learning something new. And that is actually terrifying. Like to perpetually, every day, go into a situation where you have no idea what you're talking about. That's education. That's what education is. And a lot of people don't have that inner strength. And if you don't have that inner strength to face the unknown, then you shit out of luck. Like you can't, it's not anybody else's fault except your own. Like you need to develop that inner strength to face the unknown. Okay, another problem is, and this is a serious problem, is there's no, and this relates to the motivation, is there's no accreditation of self-acquired knowledge. So you can think from the perspective of the person who's trying to escape poverty. Why would they spend all their time watching these online videos, doing the work to get this free education when at the end of the day, nobody will look at your degree and say, yep, I agree, you have a degree. So there's a problem of accreditation where we need a system where maybe it's like a test, maybe it's like a set curriculum that's set by the government that says, like, if you take these certain online courses, we will say, and you pass, we will say you have a degree. So there's a problem of, like, even if you went through the self-learning, the free education online, other people would not consider you to have a degree. And that's a problem. That's a problem that we need to fix. Because once we fix that problem, then education will truly be free and it will all be entirely up to you. Okay, so we need to fix the accreditation problem. And one way we can do that is we can have the government say, these are a set list of online courses that if you take, we will acknowledge that you have a certified bachelor's degree from like United States Online Academy or something like that. So we need that. The final thing is there's a mentorship problem. So a lot of people go to college nowadays. One of the reasons you might actually go to college instead of just looking online is because you get mentorship out of college. You can interact with professors, you can interact with people working at the university, and you can get this mentorship. And I would also say that this was a problem, but I would say that this is actually solved now. So what the funny thing is, every day now you can find mentorship online. Yeah, I'm going to talk about that. I'm going to talk about that next. The person who just made that comment. But you can find mentorship online. So I do this now, actually. You can find people like me who do Periscopes every single day, okay? And you can go on and you can interact with them online. And like I do this. I watch Scott Adams' Periscopes, okay? And it's almost like he's like a mentor, because every day I'm sort of getting knowledge and education from this mentor, and he's sort of guiding me in through life. So there is a problem that people in very, very rural or very, very poor economic communities, they maybe have just never actually found a mentor. They've never found somebody who can point them on the straight and narrow path, okay? But that's not a problem anymore, because you can find those people online. All you got to do, all you need is a cell phone. So the internet is the greatest means of escaping poverty that we have in our modern day. You get free education, you get free mentorship, all online. Okay, the final thing is that person's comment is there is a content problem. So one of the problems with education nowadays, you go to a school, you pay, I don't know what you pay, maybe you pay $60,000 a year to get a degree in some ridiculous field, and then you get out and there's no jobs for that, okay? And a part of this is the fault of the university for offering these programs that have no hope of a future. And the other part is on the student who chooses this degree that has no hope of a future. So I have to be careful what I say, because I would never say I would never like ask a college to outlaw a certain degree or a certain major, because there are people who probably want to learn that, and I'm not going to deny them access to that. But I will say that you have to be very, very, very careful in choosing what you are going to learn, what you are going to spend your time on, because if you pick the wrong thing, you're going to end up without a job. You need to pick something that's useful, okay? You're going to be in debt. No, we talked about there's free online education. Let's have a sip. Cheers. Okay, so just the final point is, like, we have free online education. We have free education. The problems are accreditation. Like, people need to find a way to certify a self-learning. The problem is motivation. People are terrified to face the unknown. There isn't a problem of mentorship anymore. You can find mentorship online. And there's also a content problem. You have to be very, very careful and selective about what you choose. So I'll finish with Ben Carson. So Ben Carson, the neurosurgeon. A lot of people don't like Ben Carson. I love Ben Carson. Ben Carson is a perfect example of this strategy that I talked about with Ben Franklin establishing libraries. So Ben Carson's mom, he was basically a latchkey kid. Okay, his mom would go to work to take care of the family, and then his mom would basically say, like, when you get out of school, you go to the library. And you sit at the library, and you work at the library, okay? And Ben Carson did that, and he escaped from one of the most impoverished neighborhoods in the USA and became a neurosurgeon, and now he's the, secretary of the HUD? So it's like, he is living proof that you can escape poverty if you just have the motivation to seek out public libraries. And my argument is, nowadays, everybody has a public library in their pocket, in their cell phone. Okay, so with that, that's a positive message. Everybody has access to this. Cheers. Let's have a good Sunday. Any questions? Let me scroll through the comments here. Sometimes it's hard for me to catch up and read on the comments. End it. Peace.